Good evening, Emma.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very, very well. How old are your kids?
They're exactly the right age for this discussion. They are 7, 5, and 3.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
yeah. So
in the middle of it.
let's take for example, Anti-Racist Baby. I noticed there's no book called Racist Baby, but Anti-Racist Baby. That's a book, right? Now, call me old-fashioned, but before you form your opinions about racial issues of race, it's probably quite a good idea to sort of learn to talk first, isn't it?
Yeah,
There can be no
yeah.
such thing as an anti-racist baby.
No, I just think, politics don't belong in a nursery and they're kids. I mean, you might as well add a book, My Dolly and Her Clitoris, if you really want to kind of shake things up and, have those really inappropriate conversations with children that shouldn't be talking about all these crazy things. So yeah, I mean my 7-year old, he's a really good footballer and he just started playing proper matches and he came out the other day and said, could he take the knee? And I went, no. And he was like, why not? All the Premiership footballers are doing it. And I said, because they need to, as adults, my generation, there is a problem and we have to respect it. And that's what they're doing, to shout out that we're all together. I said, you're 7, you play in a team of so many mixed races and a proper blended team. You don't see any difference, do you? Like, as friends, I live in Staines, there's a big Asian community here, big African English like community. It's sort of all his friends are every nationality possible. He doesn't see it. So why sort of throw it in their faces as if you have to see it because there is a problem. It's sort of the labels is just sort of getting a bit ridiculous now.
You just shouldn't be bombarding children with this. So, in Woke Babies, in the book Woke Baby, there's a sentence, for example: woke babies raise their fists in the air. Woke babies cry out for justice. No, no, no. Babies don't cry out for justice. They can't talk. They cry out for milk, for something to eat. This, as one detractor said, a critic said, these kind of books risk destroying children for the rest of their lives. They do not allow the process of open thought. They indoctrinate children right at the point where they first learn to read. This is actually, I mean, it's very funny, all this nonsense. Anti-racist baby, feminist baby, woke baby, teach your dragon about diversity, dada and daddy and dada. But it's all funny and stupid, but it's actually rather sinister as well.
Yeah, it's serious, and that these are serious books that are being allowed to be published and sold in the book, in the massive book shops out there, as kind of, these are the books your children should be reading. And it's crazy. And to me, it doesn't come from a good place. It comes from a place of attack and activism. It's not sort of, let's write a children's book and make it all fun and and educate. It's sort of, there's a real kind of, as you said, sinister undercurrent to these books.
Emma, do your kids, your young kids, do they ever come up to you and say, hey mum, I'm really worried about anti-racism, can you tell me all about it? I mean, it's not
No.
something that is in their orbit at this time.
No.
Author John Butcher has criticized these ideologies. He says that they have no place in children's books. He said all of these books are meant to drive home the message to these young children that life is about struggle. Anti-Racist Baby and other books are not designed to teach basic literacy or character formation. They are designed to indoctrinate children into a specific ideology. He's right, and that's wrong, isn't it?
It's totally wrong, and it's I'm all for kind of the blended, the educating and the openness, and sort of they do need to be aware of the different, the trans and the all the different sexuality, the spectrum, but in a kind of blended family way. So make the
Yeah, but
adults have
maybe not, Emma,
the
when
normal
they're,
stories.
but maybe not when they're 3.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Have a normal story, the fairy tale, and have the characters different colors and different races, and so that you can have the two dads in a 7-year-old storybook. You can have that in a family.
If you must, I
If
mean,
you must,
I personally, I don't see why you would go out of. The point is, I'm nothing against doing that. I mean, I'm not an expert on children, but these books are going out of their way
yeah,
to promote a kind of woke ideology,
it's that bit, and
and
having the
these
title.
minds are too
Yeah.
young and impressionable for that to be happen to them, aren't they?
Exactly, and there's when I say have the characters in there. In the same way, we've got the Disney films and new books that make girls become the heroine and the superhero in it. That's fine.
Yeah, I
It's
quite
sort of
like
so
that.
little
Yeah,
girls look
yeah.
up to. You can have that. That's what I've been talking about in kind of that blended family sort of way that isn't in your face. It's not in the title. There isn't this kind of undercurrent of activism and politics, the indoctrination, as you said, sort of going on. It's just sort of that's just the characters in the story.
Does it worry you, Emma, the kind of world that your kids are growing up in? Because this crazy wokery, which I consider to be, sinister and also pernicious, and I think extremely moronic. Does it worry you that your kids are going to grow up in an environment where they're going to be bombarded with this nonsense, this claptrap left, right, and centre?
It terrifies me. I just as a parent can do just want to steer them and guide them and do the best I can to kind of stop it happening. And I'm lucky we're a big sports family and they're all massively sporty, and I think that helps. The world of sport is very open on all levels, believe it or not, in a lot of it. So it's sort of it does terrify me. And we're at a little Church of England primary school, and they've been very open actually, and asked the parents to kind of comment on the sort of the sex ed that that we want to have at school and what's appropriate. And and I was very strong about what I said to them on that front. But it's that I've said it for years, that entitlement the world owes you a living, and but everything from the reality TV shows to sort of that instant fame, that everything's instant. Kids think you can instantly get famous, you can instantly make loads of money. It's sort of and it's that cotton wool. And I just think as parents, it's up to us as well to not cotton wool.
Well, if you
parents.
I'll tell you what, Emma, if you're an adult and you're writing this kind of book, and you're trying to indoctrinate children with nonsense like anti-racist baby, feminist baby, you need your head examined. There's something wrong with you. There really is. It's terrifying, I think, that adults can be this irresponsible.
That's the scary bit. These are adults, and they're doing what the adult thinks, and they're not looking at it from a child's point of view. And when they're that young, the themes are too adult. They're too, even the word woke. Or racism.
Well, there's one of the books is called Woke Baby,
yeah.
and that would be
and
woke
diversity. The words are just, my 7-year-old
I'll tell you, Emma, the world's going mad. By the way, you live in Staines, yeah?
Yeah.
I was brought up in Ashford, not far from
just
you.
up the road.
There you go. I'm a local.
There you go. You know the type.
I know the area. Emma, great to talk always. Emma Sayle there, social commentator, founder of Killing Kittens.